Welcome back to What Were You Thinking? This is an original series produced by World's Greatest. I'm the host tonight. My name is Bobby Grant. I'll be solo hosting tonight with a few exciting guests. A little bit about me. I've been on the show now two times. I'm bad at math. The last time was last Thursday where I hosted with the creator here, Bob. We had a few conversations here back and forth. But this is show number 49. And so far, we live stream every Monday and Thursday at 9 p.m. ET. And we've been really excited with the engagement we've had with you guys. So far, 5 million total views and 48,000 hours watched, which is awesome. Background on me, I was a 400 hurdler and 400-meter runner at Texas A&M, and now I compete professionally for Italy and Diadora. I'm also in tech sales, too, on top of all of that. So really excited to talk to you guys today. We have two really awesome guests that are personal close friends of mine. I've known one of them since I was young in high school, and the other one was one of my teammates at Texas A&M, and I'll let it be a little surprise when they jump on. But what we like to do on this show is take you through the inside of sports through the eyes of these world's greatest athletes, like the ones we have on this show. This is athlete to athlete. It's casual conversations. It's unfiltered. That's the way we do it here at World's Greatest. So you really get to know the person and get to see kind of behind the lens of who they are. If you want to join the chat here on the right side, you can ask us questions, join in and mention stuff. And then, we're really excited to have the two guests we have on tonight. I'm really excited because I actually haven't personally talked to one of them in a little bit, in a couple of months. So I'm kind of eager to chop it up with him. So without further ado, I think, Bob, you want to let one of our guests in? I see he's raising his hand. It is. All right, everybody. This is Kenny Selmon. Kenny and I go way back. What's up, Kenny?
How we doing, Bobby?
I know. I told Kenny, I texted him. He asked me if this was going to be a camera thing, and I told him that there's nothing he can do about his face. So just put his best face on for everyone. I want to thank the viewers for that before we start off. But yeah, Kenny, I'm excited.
You.
I haven't talked to you in a while, man. How you been?
It's actually been a while, bro. When's the last time we talked?
I mean, we've texted here and there, back and forth, but I don't think we've actually had a conversation or face to face. Because you're busy, you're an Olympian, so we're going to talk about that. And you just recently retired, so I want to dive into that with you too and get your thoughts behind what went into that, and then also talk to you about what you're doing outside of track. Because if you don't follow Kenny on Instagram, he is probably the most famous instructor in the city for Barry's Fitness. I want to dive into that with you too. So would love to start off. Tell everybody who you are in 60 seconds. Tell us your story.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm Kenny Selmon. Thanks for having me, Bobby. This is awesome. I've been on a series with World Greatest. Me and Clayton did a little session one time. It was great. So thanks for having me back. But Kenny Selmon, born Atlanta, Georgia, born and raised. I went to school at Pace Academy, a private school in Atlanta. Ran track there, ran track my whole life. I played a lot of sports, did everything. And then I went to UNC Chapel Hill, where I ran track there, got a full ride scholarship to go run there, major in business, really enjoyed it. And then wanted to continue my career. And I stayed at UNC for a year, and then I'm training with my coach and decided to go back home to Atlanta. And went back to Atlanta and trained with the great Nat Page for 2 years, and then made the Olympic team, and decided to shut things down shortly after. And like you said, I'm also a fitness instructor at Barry's. It's not Barry's because it's at Barry's, and it's just Barry's. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. It's kind of my short story.
All right, I'll jump in when there's something. Sounds like there's a dog in the background running around.
I don't even want to tell you what that was.
Kenny and I have been racing against each other since we're both 400 hurdlers since we were 15 years old. Kenny beat me out to go on to the U.S. junior team that went to Poland. I think it went to Poland, if I'm remembering correctly. And Kenny is one of the only 400 hurdlers in the U.S. that I never beat in my career. So I beat Ry Benjamin. I beat David Kinziera. I beat a lot of guys. I never, ever beat Kenny Selmon. in the 400 hurdles ever.
I
Now,
hate
if
that
we were
for
to
you
run an
too.
open 400, I think it would have been a different story. But we never got to do that. But
Yeah,
just some
that's
background
why
on
I
Kenny
never.
from my
Well, that's why I never
perspective.
ran the 400 hurdle. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I never ran the 400 open. Like I didn't run the 400 open for that reason. Like I had no business. I was a good 400 hurdler.
From my perspective, Kenny was the most consistent 400 hurdler that I've seen in the last decade. Obviously, Rye's been really consistent as well too. But Kenny, I always knew when I jumped on the track that Kenny was going to be, he was going to give you his best effort. And actually, a lot of times when I was coming back from my injuries, especially when I was at A&M, I would actually say to myself, I bet Kenny's working hard right now. I bet, because I've been racing Kenny since I was a kid. So that's kind of my perspective on Kenny, but I'd like to hear your perspective on the 400 hurdles. Kenny, give me a little background on that.
I mean, I don't know. I think the 400 hurdles is just the best event. Like I think for a few reasons. One, I think it is the hardest event. I mean, I know there's the grand debate between the 800 and the 400 hurdles. I think the 400 hurdles takes the cake easy. Um, but I think it's just such a unique event for a lot of reasons. One, I the reason I got into hurdling, number one, was because when I was younger, the hurdle practice used to be the easy practice. Like hard practice was like your 800 runner or your 400 runner, you had like overtrain, do insane workouts. And it always seemed like the hurdlers just have the easy practice. And so that's why I started hurdling. Turned out that's just not how it ended up. The 400 hurdles definitely became the hardest event for multiple reasons. But one of the reasons that I think it is because it's so like there's so much you can diagnose within the race. Like there are so many, like you can be better, you can be a better hurdler, you can get faster, your technique can get better, your touchdown can get faster. There's so many different aspects of the race that allow you to like dive into it more than just like the black and white aspect of running. Any flat race, it's just get faster or you're not, your form's bad or whatever. But within the 400 hurdles, I think it's just so fun to me because there's so many different aspects of it that allow you to kind of dive into. You can diagnose this part of the race that you're doing poorly, this part you're doing great. They combine it all to make the perfect race. That's why I enjoyed it. I think it's just kind of a beauty and an easy as well, easy race to kind of align yourself with.
Yeah, and I mean, you were one of the greatest. Kenny was a little modest in his background story. Kenny was an Olympian. I think he made a U.S. championship team as well too. He was an NCAA champion at North Carolina. He was the junior champion when he was younger, and Kenny has been a consistent, incredible 400 hurdler. So I had my question for you is, since you have been at the peak, you have been one of the greatest in the world. What does it take to be the greatest in your mind, Kenny?
Yeah, I think it's just it's different for everybody. I think it's a hard question to answer universally. I don't think there's any right answer. Um, like what worked for me may not work for the next person, may not work for you, may not work for whomever's trying to achieve that goal. But I think one of the biggest things is just consistency in your life, like the ability to train every day, the ability to recover every day. Um, and the desire to do so. Like, I think a lot of people are forced into certain things. They're like their parents put them into a sport that they wanted to be, and so they were forced to do it, and it wasn't really their true love. So they didn't really want to be there. Um, I think I can genuinely say, and maybe I'm contradicting myself too, because like track is hard, and I can't say I want to be there every time. But I will say I enjoyed hard work, and so I fell in love with the grind. Like I fell in love with waking up every single day and like pushing my body to its wits end, and then like the next day doing the same thing again. So that's a slight like craziness that I think you have to have where you enjoy actually like like dying at practice, because that's what I had to do so many times. Um, but you have to be a little crazy. You've got to have the ability to do it. So you have to like be healthy and learn and know how to stay healthy. So you have to be able to recover. Um, and you can speak to a
I
little
would
bit
say
of
you gotta do that.
that. Yeah, bro. I just think I mean, consistency in your training, in your diet, and your ability, and your desire, I think is everything. If you can be consistent across the board in your discipline, all of which allow for a chance to be, the greatest. I think a lot more goes into it. I think your genetic makeup matters. Your ability, the knowledge that your coach has that he or she can transfer to you every day at practice matters. There's a lot of outside contributing factors that would allow someone to have the chance to be great, and then the rest is up to you. So on that day when it matters, when it's the lights are the brightest, can you perform? And then now your story, it can be written however it's supposed to be written.
Yeah, I've done this. I did this last week. Devin asked me that question. I said the same thing, and then Bob kind of relayed last Thursday how most athletes talk about how discipline and all that is really important. So it's awesome to hear again from you. But now jumping forward here, I'd like to hear a little bit because we haven't chatted in a while, Kenny. So I'd like to hear, and I'm sure all the viewers were too. Tell me about what went into the retirement. I'd love for you to tell people about your app that you've put out that I thought was such an incredible idea. You told me about a few years ago, and then tell me about berries. What's next? Oh, look at this guy.
Sorry for barging on it. Sorry, my bad. Bobby spelled my name wrong. Didn't get the link. It's okay.
Donovan, I copied and pasted it from you. I know you only did 1 year at A&M, so you're struggling, but that was your fault.
We'll talk about this later. I've only known you 8 years. Still can't spell my name right.
All right, Kenny, answer that question.
Well, Donovan, what's going on?
How you doing? Good to see you.
Good too, bro. It's a. I can't decide if the question is deep or not for me, because like when some people ask me the question, I have like such a simple answer. It's like I was done, or I am done. And I think it's this thing keeps asking me how to rate this whatever I'm on. Okay, my screen keeps hopping away. Sorry. But me personally, like I enjoy being in front of people. I enjoy mingling. I enjoy teamwork, motivating, interaction, managing, anything of that. Like I enjoy being out with people. And track didn't really allow me to do any of that. Like track is very much, it's black and white. Like you wake up, you train. If you're lucky enough, you have a training group. If you don't, you're by yourself. You go, you die at practice, and then you go and perform. And a lot of the times for me, the work that I was putting in just felt as though it was not being rewarded to the degree that I was putting into it. Like whether it be financially, like emotionally for myself, like there was a lot that I was putting into it. Like, I mean, we all here know how incredibly hard it is to train, and to train to be at a certain level is damn near feels impossible at times. So that amount of work that I was putting in, I felt like I just was not getting rewarded. Like it's cool after a race or you make the Olympic team or whatever, when you get all these text messages and like you get all these follows. I mean, there's no high like that. But besides that, it's like, well, like your dog. Besides that, there's like the money played a piece of it, obviously. The money plays a piece of it too. Like financially, I mean, I was lucky enough to get sponsored when I came out of college, and it was an incredible deal. I made really good money actually, but the deal lasted for 2 years, and it got it was nipped during COVID, and so 2000, I mean, my entire Olympic season, I was not sponsored, so I was making money through berries, so the money wasn't there. And the reward wasn't there. I was training alone. Like there's just a lot that wasn't going right. So to speak about it, like there's a long story, but really I was just done. I was ready for what's next. I feel like I have more to offer than track allows me to give, and so I don't know exactly what is next. I have some things in the works that will reveal themselves shortly. But like one thing that I know for sure is that I was done going out every day by myself, killing myself at practice for little to no money, with little to no platform, with little to no human interaction. I was done with that. So that's kind of was the reason. And I also achieved what I wanted. Like making the Olympics was kind of my final goal. And so getting that was a huge piece of that. Like I felt validated within my career enough to like step away. Like all the work I put in, all the money my parents have put in, I felt validated in my career enough to finally like say I'm done with this. So those are the biggest pieces. And so like you said, yeah, I work at Barry's. It's a it's a fitness studio. It's a group training or group fitness studio. We're global. We've got a ton of studios. We started off in California. And I picked it up initially 3 years ago as a side gig. Like it was supposed to just be like when I wasn't training for track, I was just going to also teach a few classes. Without realizing that I actually like really enjoy it. I enjoy the human interaction of it. I enjoy the people that I get to meet. I also feel like I'm pretty good at it. And so I've kind of, dove into that, and I've become a manager now. I'm an instructor, and I plan to see what they have in store for me. But yeah, that's what I do. I work at Barry's. Now I am.
What about the app? What about the app? Don't forget the app.
Yeah. So I started. So me and my best friend, we started an app. It's called Stoke. It's a great platform. So the premise of it, it's a social network that is centered around live event chat rooms. So the live events can be anything from like shows to award shows to events. So right now we're focusing on sporting events. And so the point is just to become like we want to have all the live event discussions in one place. And so it's more like a more streamlined Twitter. It's getting there. It's a startup. We're very much in the startup phase, and it's a grind. But that's the premise of the idea. So Stoke, download it as an Apple Store.
Yeah, no free shout outs, but that one we'll give to you. So excited to have now. Oh yeah, where can we find it, Bob?
Yeah, the App Store. App Store. It was what did you say, Donovan?
What's it called? How do you spell it?
It's called Stoke. Stoke.
Yeah, Kenny told me about this. I think it was like 3 or 4 years ago. He was all mysterious about it. He's like, "Oh, I'm doing this app thing. Can't tell you about it, but it's gonna be super cool." And then I've kind of got to see it like come out and all that stuff. And so he's put a lot of work into that. So if you have time, go down, check it out.
There it is. No, it's a vibe. I mean, it's so funny now thinking back when I was telling you about it. Like everybody wants to hide their great idea, and it's like
Kenny thought I was gonna steal it from him probably and like go do it myself. I never would have done that.
The idea is the smallest piece of it. Like there's so much more that goes into it.
Kenny, the IQ level on me is low. I'm not gonna be able to develop an app on my own. So there's no way I would have been able to steal your idea. So like you were in the clear there. But pivoting here, because we had another guest join, Donavan Brazier. I'm sure everybody here knows who that is. He is the world champion 800 meters, NCAA champion 800 meters. Used to have the collegiate record. I think it got broken last year. Which he broke from Jim Ryan. It was like a 38-year-old record that he smashed his freshman year. Went pro right out of school at A&M with Nike, and has been one of my closest friends since we were at A&M together. So I'm excited to have him on too. Donnie, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up? Thanks for having me, Bobby. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks for
glad to have you on.
You speak so kindly of me. So.
Well, I can't say things I want to say on here. I will get banned from the show. But if you want to give a 60-second story, let's hear your life story, Donnie.
My life story?
Yeah, let's hear it. Who's Donavan Brazier?
Grew up. That's a hard question to answer. It's kind of like, okay, I'll try my best. Grew up Grand Rapids, Michigan. Grew up always thinking I was going to be like a basketball player, like a football player, because I was just like, those were like my idols growing up, all those kind of people. But then like I was like a freshman, sophomore in high school, and like I just didn't hit puberty. Like I was like a late bloomer. I like wasn't big, couldn't break 100 pounds till I was like my junior year of high school. So I did what every like awkward like skinny kid does, and I joined the cross country team. I ended up being decent at it, so I joined the track team as well, and I just kept taking that to the next level. I guess I found a liking towards track because I could see my results opposed to a team sport where it was kind of dependent on other people. It was just kind of more dependent on me. So I fell in love with track and field. I took my talents all the way down to College Station, where I ran for Texas A&M with Bobby, and I ran a year pro with them. Signed my contract with Nike, had a couple years up and down, was able to win my first world title in 2019, and I've been a little shaky since then, but just trying to get back on the rebound right now.
Yeah, and I mean, Nike gave you all that money, and your Wi-Fi still sucks, man. You're all green. Come on, man. Upgrade your Wi-Fi.
I'm purposely by my monitor for this issue. I didn't think we're gonna have an issue. Can you not hear me?
No, you're just a little green, but it's okay. We'll figure it out later. Donovan, I asked Kenny this earlier in the show. Would love to get your mindset thing. So for everybody that doesn't know Donovan, because you don't do a lot of like media, you're not usually out there. You don't show a lot of your like who you are. So a lot of people don't know that you're actually like a killer. Not actually, but like in the sport of track and field, Donovan is an incredibly mentally tough guy, loves boxing, loves Muhammad Ali. Actually, there's a funny story behind that I'm going to ask you about, which I knew you probably knew I was going to ask you that. But tell me, Donovan, what does it take to be the greatest in your eyes?
In my eyes, what it takes to be greatest, I think you have to be extremely motivated, you have to be gifted, but you also, at the end of the day, have to be really, really disciplined in what you're doing and have a deep belief in yourself and knowing that you can achieve the things that you put in your mind. And I feel like growing up, like I was kind of like, I wasn't smart. Like I don't have a great GPA. Like I went to Texas A&M. I was like flunked out my freshman year, but I rebounded and I was able to get my GPA back. But I'm not the smartest kid growing up, is what I'm saying. And I was always dumb enough to believe in myself. I was always dumb enough to believe those cheesy quotes and those motivational videos and things that I could derive some sort of strength from. And I think that kind of ignorance within me was also what gave me my strength to have that power within, to know that I'm capable of whatever I want to. You know, as cheesy as that may sound, I'm as good. I can become as good as I would like to be. And at the end of the day, if I don't become that, then I never wanted to become it.
Yeah. Tell us about your hero, Muhammad Ali. Have you ever had any like shadow boxing incidents? Just mimicking him ever?
No, I mean, I'm a laundry boxer. Like I said, growing up, I wanted to do any other like combat sport. I want to do a combat sport, so like basketball, football, maybe boxing. Won't go into too much detail. You had a little incident freshman year, as Bob knows, and yeah, I've been staying away from boxing ever since. It wasn't anything that serious. It was fine. Don't know why you brought it up, but yeah, I'm a wannabe boxer. But I can like box until I can get hit. Like everybody's like Tyson said, everybody has a plan until they get in the face. That's kind of what I'm like. I feel like I could beat somebody up. But until like I'm like actually getting in the face, I just don't know. I could beat Bobby up though, for sure.
Yeah, I don't know about all that. I got this is a jaw right here. You're not getting past this thing. I would eat that. But Donovan, his freshman year, he said he had an accident. If he doesn't talk about it, I won't bring it up. But he had to wear this thing on his hand, and it kind of like looked like this while he was running. So he'd run like this, and I have all these kids DMing me being like, hey, why is Donovan wearing that thing on his hand? Like, is that helping him at any advantage? So me being me, I was like, it's helping him with aerodynamics, like all this stuff. I was like saying, oh yeah, but really it was a cast for his hand.
I said it was counter for the longest time.
But I wanted to ask the two of you because both of you guys are U.S. champions. So Kenny, I think it was 2018 when you won the 400 hurdles in the U.S. at the U.S. Championships. Donovan, you were a U.S. champion in 2019, then you went on to win Worlds. That's this week. So I kind of want to hear your thoughts. Donovan, you're going to be racing, so you can talk to that. Kenny, I'd like to hear I want to hear a wild take from you on like who's going to win what event or anything like that. But give me your preview for the U.S. champs coming up.
Me or Donovan? I don't know.
Whoever wants to talk first, go ahead.
Takes.
Well, God, takes. Okay. I think. Can I just think? Oh God, I don't know.
All right, here, Kenny, you think? I know it's hard.
Okay.
Donovan, you're racing this week. Give us the preview of your race. You've been battling some injuries last few years. Let's hear about that. Give us the insight.
Okay, another question for Kenny. What do you think the slowest time is going to be to make it in the 400-meter hurdle team? I'd love to let that marinate. But for my race, I'm racing the 800 meters. The main guys are in it. Obviously, we got Clayton, we got Bryce, we got Isaiah. We got Kidder, we got Devin Dixon, who's my former teammate at A&M. I luckily don't have that much pressure this weekend. I have a bye. I didn't race one time, and I go to Worlds. So I'm going to be out there just chilling and not really having a high-pressure situation going on. But, yeah, I'm excited to race these guys. Haven't raced them in, like a year now, because I've been staying away from the 8. But my goal is just kind of to build some confidence. I had some injuries last year. I had a fractured tibia, and now I'm kind of coming up from some stuff this year. So I'm just trying to prove to myself and prove to my body that I can kind of get through these runs and get through these rounds and just kind of use this as a stepping stone for Worlds in 3 weeks' time.
Yeah. Kenny mentioned earlier when he was talking about why he decided to retire from the sport that like there's a lot that you give to it and sometimes you don't get a lot back. And a lot of people don't know Donovan didn't make the Olympic team last year, and I'm sure everyone was wondering like what was going on. Donovan was actually running with the broken tibia at the championships. He was pushing through that. He was an amazing athlete for doing that. And so talk about like the mentality behind that, Donovan.
The mentality behind running out of broken ankle tibia.
Yeah, like what? That's you got to be a kind of like competitor to push yourself. So like, what went behind that?
Yeah, let me first say this. I wouldn't recommend it to anybody. I made it worse. I had to get surgery, still got a screw in my leg because of it. But I think I just wanted something so bad that I was just kind of ignoring all the caution signs and ignoring the red flags of things when I should have stopped. Because realistically, I probably should have stopped like in May or April of last year, but I still had 2 months to go because I had, a dream or a vision in my head that I was supposed to be a U.S. Olympian that year. But injuries came up, and I tried my best to work my way through them, and I fell severely short of it in the finals. So
listen,
I'm just trying to.
Was it actually broken when you're running on it, or was it just hurt?
I got surgery 5 days after that.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. That just takes a special kind of competitor. That's why I was saying Donovan. He seems quiet if you ever like get to see him in person, but he'll if he's healthy and he's ready, that's so scary. That's a bad man on the track for that reason because he wants it.
I appreciate that, Bobby.
Yeah, and we got to race some relays together at A&M. I wish I could have got more time with Donovan because he was only had 1 year with us, and then I can't even imagine how fast our relay would have been if you would have stayed the other 3 years. It would have been some crazy times because Donovan can run a 400. He ran indoors this year. I think he ran 45 or 46 low.
46.1, yeah, just couldn't get there, yeah.
Which for an 800-meter guy, especially indoors, is crazy. And another story before we, because I know Kenny is viciously riding there, so I'm sure he's. I wanted to talk to Donovan. Donovan called me a few years ago. Kenny mentioned that it's hard to make money in track, so I was unsponsored out of college. I was working 2 jobs. I was doing my master's degree, and Donovan hooked me up, called his agent, got me invited to the New Balance Classic up in Boston to run a 600, which I had never ran over 400 meters my whole life, but he wanted me to come down. So, Donovan, why don't you tell everybody about that race and what happened?
Yeah, so it wasn't a favor. I wanted to humble Bobby a little bit. Couldn't let him think that he's a shit because, he obviously is, but I can't let him think that. So he came out to New Balance Indoor that year, Mark Wetmore's meet. And I said, do a 6. It's just like the hurdles. If you have strength, you have endurance. And I'm just kind of trying to boost him up before I tear him down a little bit. And 600, he had me for about, you had me for about 200 meters now? 200, 300 meters?
I sat on you because my plan going in, I was talking to Coach Henry, and I called Francique too. I was like, how the hell do I beat this guy in the 600? Like, he's a freak. So Coach Henry gave me some advice, which I took his advice. I didn't listen to Francique. Francique was like, take him out on 45 or 46 and hold on for dear life. And I was like, I'm not doing that. Coach Henry told me to sit on your hip and kick. And so I tried that. And tell them what you did in the race.
I just kicked a little harder than you is all. It was a good time of race. You're finding time yourself. You know what I mean? So don't think that it was a scrub race and
Donovan broke the world record on me. Donovan ran the fastest time ever recorded in the history of the world ever on me.
But that's what I'm saying. You can't be mad about that race because you also ran a very well race yourself. So it's just.
If I ran 4 seconds slower, a thing would have beat me. So I don't know what we're talking about. Great time.
I'm just trying to make you feel better about it. But yeah, you're right.
That's okay. It was one of the things. It was one of those things in life where you sit back and you're like, "Yep, that was fun. I'm never going to do that again." And I think that's what I actually said to Donovan. He was getting interviewed, everyone's all excited, broke the world record, and I walked up to him and I whispered to him, I was like, "That was fun. I'm never doing that again." And then I walked off the track and I was like, "Yeah, I'm never doing." Yeah, there it is. There he is. 1:13.77. Crazy race.
Yeah.
All right. Let's hear about what'd you viciously write down? Let's hear about your prediction.
I did not mean to make it that dramatic. I was just looking at old results. I wanted to refresh my mind. Yeah, I'll just keep it on the 400 hurdles. Honestly, and it's been so fun watching everything from afar. I will say that I have missed that though. It's annoying not being able to contribute, but it's been nice to watch everything from afar. So I think well, I'm gonna give Rye's gonna make the team because Rye is unbelievable. He's gonna make the team. I don't think he's gonna be required to go. I think it depends on like where he's at in his training. If he wants to go, I mean, like the man's capable of going 46. Like we know this. I don't think he's going to be required. Like the most he will have to. I mean, second place might not go 47. I don't think there'll be a second 47. I think Rye will go whatever he wants. He'll run 47 something. I don't think he'll be required to go 46. I don't think he wants to. So Rye's going to win. I think Khalifa Rosser is going to get second. I think the biggest thing in track is consistency, or like that can like show you a big performance. And I think Khalifa is has been the most consistent this year, and he's due for a big drop. So I think Khalifa goes. I think he goes 48-0 something. I don't see him going. I don't know. We'll see. I give him 48-0.
He already ran 48 low. I think he could dip into 47. I mean, he's in Boogie's group, and Boogie obviously is notorious for putting great athletes on the track and 400 hurdles. You don't think he can run 47?
I'm not saying he can't. I'm saying
you don't think he will at the championships.
I don't think he will. I mean, 3 rounds. The 3 rounds, right?
Yes, 3 rounds.
3 rounds.
Yeah. He ran. I mean, he's gone 48-1 this year. I think he goes. I don't know. I give it 48-0, but as he's also one of my friends, I feel bad. Like he can go 47, so I don't think I'm not saying he can't, but and then I don't want to say my third prediction. I don't know who's getting third.
Well, what's the time that's going to be? What's the last? What do you think will be? Because it's been consistently, I think, like 48.6 to 48.8 is usually third to make the team. Who do you like? Not who, but do you think that will be the case this year? Or do you think it'll be slower than that?
What did Dave ran at the U.S. Championships for like the Olympic team? It was because I went 48.08, and then Dave went.
Maybe Bob can pull it up while we're talking here and throw it on the screen. I'm curious to see if there's a tweet about it, but I know that.
Well, it was the same way that we finished at Nationals in 2018. It was like the same difference in our times, or that like it was the same thing for the Olympic trials. But anyway, I don't know. I think the second time is. I mean, the third time is like 48, like 6. Like I think you can. I think you'll make it with 48.6. I don't think that. Because I don't think anything is. Nothing has been crazy this year by any means on the 400 hurdles just yet. So I think 48.6 gets you in. I think Rye wins. I think Khalifa goes second. And I think third. I think I don't know. Actually, I don't want to comment. So
I'll give you my prediction. My prediction. I think AJ Bailey is going to get third, and I'm not just saying that because he's my training partner. I'm saying that because
he almost snuck it.
I see him in practice. I've seen him all year, and I really think that he's gonna. I mean, he's been 12-stepping some hurdles. I don't want to throw that out there and make him nervous, but he's been 12-stepping some hurdles. And AJ was a tremendous 400 runner, so I could see him being the dark horse and coming in and getting third. I could also see Amir Latin. He always runs well at the championships. I'm not sure what's going on with TJ Holmes. I haven't seen him in a while, but he always just shows up and then runs fast at the championships too. And then
but like, and also like, don't forget Quincy Hall.
Yeah, Quincy. There's Sean Burrell from Florida, or not Florida.
Yeah. Yeah. I think my true prediction is Rye.
Just give us a prediction. Come on,
Rye, Khalifa, and Quincy.
Okay.
Now, respect to my boy, my Olympic teammate, David.
David's a tremendous 400 hurdler as well.
David comes out of nowhere. That is one person, or there's a few, including you, but there are people that you have to just take as honest as possible. And David is capable of anything. Like David, his entire Olympic year, he was running like 50s, like 51. I mean, he was not running fast by any means, but when it was time to run fast, he dropped his fastest time of the year and made the Olympic team. So I think David is always capable of that, and he has shown that time and time again. So I think David just as easily could be third as well.
Okay. I agree. I've always loved racing David. David, for people that don't know who David Kanzera is, David was I think he went to Illinois, if I'm remembering the college correctly, but he was a 110 hurdler and a 400-meter hurdler. I think he's one of the only athletes in the last like decade that did both at NCAAs and made the final in both. So he's a tremendous hurdler. And since leaving college, he's joined just the 400 hurdles. He doesn't do the 110 anymore. And he's really kind of stepped out on his own. He made the Olympic team last year. So I agree. He is capable of anything. He's an awesome athlete.
Yeah, no, Dave's the man. He's the man. He's one of my good friends, and he'll keep you honest every single time.
Yeah. Donovan, any wild takes from you for what's going to happen this week? Who's going to win the 800 on the women's side? You think things will just destroy everybody again? Hey, Donnie, you're on mute, man. Oh my God, we gotta get this Wi-Fi figured out.
I'm sick.
He's not on mute. All right, we can't hear Donovan. We'll have Bob figure that out for a quick second. Look at him freaking out. I love that kid.
These predictions.
I know. I want to hear the hot takes from Donovan.
Wait, so where are you, Bobby? What's up with you, bro? Like, can we get an update on you? I know this is not about you, but like, let's talk about Bobby.
That's my favorite subject. I love talking about Bobby.
Give us an update on the. I mean, we need to know everything. Like, when are we back? What's new? Like, come on.
Well, I've gone over this like a few times because I've been on the show now twice. But I'll be back in August, training again, running again. So I'll be able to get back. Kenny knows I've been struggling with some injuries for the last few years. But I've always really believed in myself since I have fast foot speed that I can be one of the top 400 hurdlers when Paris comes. And so bye, Donovan. Yeah, right now I work in sales for a tech company, which I mentioned before. So I'm really focusing on that. I'm actually working towards a promotion right now. So I've been spending a lot of time just like getting to know the tech, getting to know all the stuff, and then spending the rest of the days training. And yeah, my life's pretty much the same. So we talked. I got a puppy, which you saw me up because she was chewing. She's an absolute menace. I don't know why around like 8 o'clock every night she just gets so much energy. But yeah, that's not much is new for me, Kenny. I mean, we talk all the time, but yeah, that's pretty much.
I mean, respect to Bobby. I think there are very few, if not. I mean, no 400. Like, there are some athletes or some 400 runners who are 400 hurdlers and who are only 400 hurdlers. I think I am one of those athletes. Like, you are good at the 400 hurdles. Like, you figured it out, and you run differently then. But like, I'm not challenging too crazy anybody in the open four. I think Bobby is one of few, like, who has an insane amount of foot speed that can drop down to the 400 and be a threat. Like, there are very few 400 hurdlers who could actually drop down and run 45, 44. Like, that's not that typical. And it's weird because we run so fast over the hurdles, but like, it's something about when you take the hurdles out that some people just cannot handle it. Bobby is one of the few that can do that at the highest level. So respect to Bobby.
Appreciate that. Yeah, I always joke with Kenny because I'm like, dude, I'm so fast, man. How come I can't figure this hurdle things out? And Kenny's always laughing. He's like, yeah, you just got to figure it out. Because Kenny, I'd watch him run the hurdles. I'm like, dude, this guy's crazy. Like, he steps. He was, when I say he's the most consistent hurdler, not just in his times, but like I always knew where Kenny was going to be at every hurdle. Like, I knew the time he was going to be at. Like, I studied him a lot. Like, I knew because he would bring it every time. He was so consistent. His steps were the same. Like, tremendous. Like, if you want to talk about like, I used to call it like a serial killer of the sport. Kenny was like a true serial killer of track and field. Like, he knew exactly what he was going to do at all times. So it was always fun to race him because I really like got the vibe of like, I always knew what he was going to do. And you never like went into a race against Kenny and you were like, he'll probably have a bad race there. Like, he might not do this or that. Like, he was so consistent. It didn't matter where it was. If it was like the McDonald's Invitational of Northeastern Kentucky, he was going to run 40, 48, 47. If it was the NCAA Championship, US Championship, he was going to run. Like, he always brought it. So I always loved racing against you. It was always a good time.
Bro, I appreciate it. Donovan, give us a prediction. Come on.
Can we hear him?
For USA's, can you guys hear me now?
Yeah,
oh, it's better too.
You can hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Predictions for USA's. You left me off on a thing in Raven. Raven's my teammate, but a thing is kind of also, she's not my teammate. She A&M.
She's Aggie. She's Aggie. Yeah.
She's an Aggie. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to predict that one there. I think obviously they both make the team. The women's 800 is so strong. It's going to be Ajay Raven and a thing. Not saying in any sort of order, but that's 100% what it's going to be. Kind of like how I don't know, but like I feel like the 800 is the most predictable event to like pick the three that are going to make it because they're just so more superior than the rest of them. I'm trying to think. What's another? Oh, the 15. You guys don't pay attention to distance people, though, do you?
Yeah, we do. What are you talking about?
Hey, okay. Name 3 1,500 meter runners.
Listen, that was disrespect for you to ask me that question on live.
Name 3 runners that are running your
All right. Hold on. Calm down. Eric Sawinski. That's his name, right? That's how you say it. Eric Sawinski. My boy Craig Angles. That's my guy right there. And Donovan Brazier, because you also run the 1500. That's 3.
USA's 100 picks. Who we got for the 100?
Ooh.
I got Fred winning. I know that I'm biased because we were teammates at A&M, but I watched him. I went out to practice. He was at Brophy, my high school, training in Phoenix because he has a house out there that he goes to and trains at when he's not in Miami. And I watched him run some 150s and 250s, and he's going to do something crazy. I think he might run 9.97 at the championships.
He's incredible. I think he is one of the most fascinating athletes that I think our sport has seen. And he gets a lot of respect, but I wish more respect for Fred because he is incredible as an athlete. I mean, what he's done, his range in events at the level he's done it, I think does not get talked about enough. It does, but it's not respected enough because that man is insane. He's insane.
I think
they think he's not joking. Like he's that guy. Like he's Fred. He's proving everybody wrong. You know
he's time and time again.
Including myself. I was like, Fred, why are you running the 100? Like, what do you think? Like, I'm questioning what he's doing, but obviously he doesn't question himself one bit, and it shows. But.
A lot of people see that's what we were talking about. I talked about this with Bob on the phone, but there's a disparity in track and field where they don't tell a lot of the stories of the athletes. Like you don't get to know, like Fred has such an incredible story. Like he really is the American dream. He really did come from nothing. He came from a hard home. He worked his way into JUCO. He was a football player, ran track at South Plains. Then he got a scholarship to A&M. He had a little tumultuous first year at A&M. Then he rose up the ranks. The next year, broke the collegiate record, went pro, and since then he's just been a tremendous athlete. And Fred, if you hear him talk, you might think like, oh, whatever, because people when you hear someone talk, you might think because Fred sometimes doesn't sound like the most. He doesn't sound like Bill Nye the Science Guy. He's not the smartest guy, but Fred is actually sneaky, very smart, and he's really good with his finances too. So since he's left A&M, he's become like a little bit of an entrepreneur. He's setting his daughter up for the rest of her life too, which is awesome. I get to kind of see that behind the scenes, but Fred is an incredible athlete, and that's my prediction for the 100.
I think. I'm from Atlanta. Christian Coleman and me went to high school. We were in the same circle growing up. He is my dog. I think Christian Coleman shows up big at USA. So I'm taking Christian.
I could see either one of them winning. I'm going to take my guy Fred though.
Yeah.
Christian's at the bye, so Christian's going to make the team anyway. So we got Christian, Fred. Right. What are the 2 runners are going to?
What about Micah from Oregon?
He didn't have the best final at NCAA's, but yes,
I know.
Too. A lot.
What do you say?
He has a talent to do it.
It's home track. It's at Hayward. I think he takes that 3rd spot.
He was my roommate in Tokyo too.
Yeah, I could see him taking it home. It's at Oregon. I could see him just because for some reason those athletes, they find a way at Oregon that went to Oregon. They just make it happen. So I could see that. I could see him making 3rd spot.
Home field advantage. Then we got Florida boy.
The Florida guy is he runs for a different country. He doesn't run for the U.S.
Oh, he's not American. Okay.
Yeah. I made the same mistake last week.
Damn, yeah, Trayvon. I mean, yeah.
It's such a crazy event because anything could happen. Because if Trayvon Bromell gets out and he gets out like the way he normally does and he finishes well, he's going to make the team. He might run something crazy too.
He's probably got the fastest mark too. Like, I feel like 9.7 or something. I don't know.
Yeah, everyone. I don't know. That'll be a great event. Give me your prediction. Are there any world records that'll be broken at this U.S. Championship? Do you think Sydney breaks
World
it again?
record? Man, I don't know. Shoot.
Do you think a thing breaks the world record in the 800 either this meet or at the World Championships? And do you think that anybody else breaks the world record at this championships?
For the 800, I think that'd be extremely. What's she right? She's at 150, 157 right now, and the world record's like from some like Russia from like the 90s, isn't it? Like,
Yeah, and that I'm sure was extremely clean when she did that. But yeah.
like it's a hard record to break. The thing definitely has a chance to do it, but I know I feel like she'll probably peak properly.
That was mean. I don't know if she was clean. I mean, I'm just going off of the history of Russia, and that was mean. If I'm sure she never watches this, but if she did,
honestly, she might not be Russian. I might have just been talking. I'll look it up right now. Actually,
I think she was Russian, but yeah, I'm curious too. I think she can break it. I don't know if it'll be this year, but I think eventually she will.
Can we address what Devin's doing right now? Like, I mean, like,
yeah.
What is he doing right now? He is on fire.
I don't know. He must be taking his Flintstone gummies every morning, or sorry, his Upgo gummies every morning, because he's on another level. Yeah, Devin is. What did he just run? Yep, 12 before.
On fire. What are we saying? Like that race, watching that race there, and seeing, like Grant Holloway is like you don't beat Grant Holloway. No. And in the fashion in which he just like surged past him over the last 3 hurdles was something that like I've never seen before. Like that. What is he doing right now?
Okay, I'll give Grant, because Devin's my guy. Went to high school, that's one of my best friends. I have to give Grant a little bit of benefit of the doubt, just a little bit, because that was his first race. That was his opener. So this race at USA's, I think, is going to be really interesting. I think one of them breaks world record. That's my prediction. Like either or. I think they both are capable of it.
Yeah.
I have Devin winning because that's my guy. I love you, Grant. I'm sorry, bro. I got Devin.
I'll pick Dev too. But Grant's the man. Grant's one of the best.
What's up, Donavan?
Is Devin done after this year? Like, why is he still running? He just signed a pro contract with Philadelphia. No, like,
he's still got to make the team. Now, let's pump the brakes a little bit. Devin's still got to make the team. He knows that. He's got to go out there. He's got to perform at training camp, and he's getting prepared, which is why it's so crazy what he's doing right now on the track. And I'm sure he'll talk about it more because he hosts his podcast as well too. But he's still got to make the team. Track is still his focus for right now. But once the season is over, once the World Championship is over, he's going to transition. And he will still continue to do track, and I'm sure he'll talk more about that. But yeah, he's pushing to make that NFL team.
I've found it so interesting, and this is like a hot take, but I found it so interesting how, like, since Devin has, signed whatever with the Eagles, the narrative has entirely shifted from this Olympian who has the fastest time, the 3rd fastest time ever right now in the history of the event. He's represented two-time Olympian, 2-time Olympian, NCAA champ. I mean, let's just Devin is the man on the track, and at the drop of a dime, the narrative has just flipped to this football player, and I feel like that's just like not a problem within our sport, but like this guy's an Olympian for track and who is running incredibly on the track. And it just got flipped to now he's this NFL player who also runs track. And I'm just curious as to what y'all think the reason is behind that. Like, I mean, I know what a headline is. I know what makes sense. But this guy, Devin runs track. I know he played football back in the day. He did both, whatever. But come on. Give me a take.
Where the money's at, you know what I mean? It's where the money's at. It's a more talked about.
No. Devin has done well enough in track and field to set himself up for a very comfortable life. It's not for him. It's about.
Can he say why is he getting more attention now? Essentially, is what you're saying, or why is he seem like a football player that also runs track opposed to a track player that runs football or plays football?
It's more so nothing to do with Devin.
Why is the media hyping him up so much more now that he's playing football rather than he's a tremendous track athlete?
Right. What he has done. I find it interesting how and this is no disrespect, but USA track and field will like put out content that says the like the Eagle or like Devin Allen, wide receiver for the Eagles, is doing this, opposed to like a two-time Olympian who is representing our team is like running fast. I just find it interesting that our own like kind of outlets can flip the narrative to a way that I feel like is just not rewarding
It's
of his
clickbait. It's clickbait. Kenny and I were texting about this the other day. I was like, didn't they just bring AJ Brown over from the Titans? They haven't talked about him for 1 second. He's like an established wide receiver, and all talk about is Devin. I believe that Devin, truly in my heart, he's going to make the team. He's going to be a tremendous wide receiver. I really, truly believe that. He knows he has to put the work in. But it is funny to see that they talk all about him. He hasn't even made the team yet. And they're still like, I mean, they have to put him on the team now. There's no way. The amount of PR they put out on it, they have to.
Like, I want him on the team. I think it's more fun. I don't know. I think it'd be a lot more fun to see that. But I just find it interesting. I don't know.
All right. Pivoting, because we got about 10 minutes left. I'm looking at the clock. I'm bad at math. Now it's 9 minutes. All right. So we have a segment here at the end of the show that we like to do. This is my first time putting anybody through it, so we'll see how it goes. It's called What Were You Thinking When? So, Kenny, I'm going to start with you. What were you thinking when you made the U.S. Olympic team? I know it's probably an easy one, but I'm curious because Donovan and I both have never done it. So what were you thinking?
Wow. I think that's a weird question. I don't think I've ever been asked that one. What was I thinking? I mean, I was just happy for I was more happy for everybody who told me that I could do it. Because like when people tell you like you can do this, or like you're the one, or like I believe in you, all you want to do is validate that person. Like you want them to feel like they were right and their belief in you was right. And so when I crossed the line, I remember it vividly. Like my parents were there, and I like kind of I fell on the ground a little bit. But I just felt so happy for like everyone else, which is weird. Like, I was just like now, like they feel validated in what they've done, and I put in the work obviously, and I felt validated in myself. But I was just thankful for the support that had been poured into me, and the fact that I could bring it home to them was like I knew like everything from this point on was like a dub. Like no matter whatever else happened, like it was a dub. So just thankful for like what I could do for my family. Yeah. But
yeah, you've always been that type of athlete, Kenny, that I feel like that's why I liked racing against you. There's some athletes, and I won't name them, obviously, but there are some athletes that
I know who they are.
I like to beat more than others because they have said things out there and stuff like that. Kenny, I love racing against Kenny, not only because we're friends, but and I guess I won't get to anywhere because you're retired now, unless we just pick it up on the street. But Kenny always ran for the love of the sport, and you could always tell, like, because my dad and his dad would talk a lot, that he ran for his family too. So I love hearing that. Like, I'm sure your dad and mom are probably so stoked, your brother too. So I love hearing that about that. That was your first thought.
For sure.
Donovan, all right. What were you thinking when you broke Jim Ryan's record and FlowTrack posted, "Is Donavan Brazier worth $500,000?"
What a question.
Well, because listen, for the backstory on that, Donovan broke the record and then he went pro, and it was spicy at Texas A&M at the time because not a lot of athletes. Coach Henry wants you to do your time at A&M, and he wants you to like be a part of the team. And so FlowTrack put this article out, and man, did that thing make its rounds in group messages at A&M. So I want to hear, what were you thinking when you broke the record and that article came out?
Well, when I broke the record, one, I didn't know I could run that fast. But two, I was also kind of like what Kenny said. I'm more of a type of athlete that likes to run for the people that say I can do it, opposed to the people that say I can't do it. You know what I mean? Like you were saying, Kenny. So I just felt like I was making Friend Seek proud. I was making my family proud. I was making my teammates proud. So I was really excited about that. But then the athlete that I beat, Brandon McBride, who still competes to this day, I was talking to him after the race, and he was like, "Yeah, so you going pro?" I was like, "What do you mean you going pro?" He's like, "You're gonna go like run track and field professionally." I was like, "Is that a thing?" Like I didn't know like you could run professional track and field. I didn't know people paid you to run professionally. So it was a lot of confusion. And I mean, I've never been put in that situation before in my life. And yeah, like Bobby said, there was a lot that went in that next 2 or 3 weeks leading into the Olympic trials. So it was a lot of highs, a lot of lows, a lot of drama, but yeah, no, it was an exciting time. I think that was the race that created my career. That was the race that got me that contract with Nike, that made me establish that, I'm still living off up to this day. So yeah, just good nostalgic memories.
I was the first. So everybody knows the watches track. The 800 goes before the 400 hurdles. So I was sitting in the call room with Kenny. Actually, we were both back there, and I don't know if you remember this, Kenny, but it was like me, you, Eric Futch was standing there, and we were watching the race. And everybody, there was some explicits that got said, but everybody was just like, "Holy crap!" Because Donovan runs so fast. For me as a teammate, it was really special to be the first person to greet you because you were walking into the call area as I was walking out for my race. That was special for me. I'll always remember that because I was the first person to like walk out there and like hug you and be like, dude, congrats. So that was cool for me too, because I got to see all the work that got put into it. Because Donovan works really hard, like that at practice. He does some crazy stuff. Like he ran a 600 in a time trial one time, and I think he beat everybody like 120 meters. Like he's a freak.
Yeah.
But he works really hard. So it's cool to see. And like the same thing with Kenny. Like when I saw Kenny make the Olympic team, that for me, just being friends with him, like was super special because I know what went behind that and how tremendous of a person he is outside of track too. So those are two moments for me too. Like that's why I wanted to ask you guys because like even just being your friend, it was awesome to watch both of those.
Oh yeah, well, thank you, Bobby. You little
Appreciate that.
sweet soul.
I'm what? Did you call me weak?
No, I said you sweet soul.
Oh, sweet. So I said weak soul. I was like, come on, man. I am a softie a little bit, but we're running up on 4. We have 4 minutes left. So I want to leave it to you guys. Is there anything you'd like to say to the world's greatest fans or any predictions for this week or anything? I'm giving you both the floor. Go for it. You have 3 minutes. Whatever you want to say. Do you have any predictions? Do you like anything you want to tell us about your lives? Like Donovan?
Predictions? Because I have like friends in multiple events. So I'm not trying to step on any toes making predictions. Like everybody has their predictions. Everybody thinks they know who's gonna make it and not. But like you guys were saying, you guys are kind of treading water a little bit, like making sure you're not stepping on any toes. So I feel.
Listen. I love the smoke. I'll say it.
Bobby always wants
relay partner because of it. Because I didn't want the smoke in the relay. I didn't want it. When we were running relays and stuff, Bobby's out here talking shit to Houston and Florida. I'm like, I don't want to fight, but I'll have to. If I guess I have to. Like, because Bobby's just out here.
I love talking. I love to talk. So yeah, Don was always the quiet killer. I was always the one that was like, yeah, we're gonna beat you guys today. Like, who's coming in second? Like, what's gonna happen out there? Yeah.
It was always a thing.
Like you actually you uphold what you say. So that's what I respect about
Sometimes,
you.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, and well, people always used to think that we hated each other, Bobby. Like, Bobby would always post stuff and like comment on my Instagrams, and like I would comment on his, and we would just talk shit back and forth. And people thought that we like there was an article leading up to one of the races where they were like, oh, like the Kenny and Bobby.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. And we're just like texting in the back, like whatever.
No, Kenny was one of my closest friends that I raced in the 400 hurdles. He's one of my close friends, an athlete, whatever, everything. But like, it was always funny. And it's the same thing with Devin too. People think that Devin and I like truly hate each other because on Twitter, I just talk so much trash to him and I'm always jabbing back and forth with him. I did the same thing with you, Kenny. Yeah. So that's funny because I've had people text me and be like, why do you hate Devin? And I'm like, I love that kid to death. It's all a joke. Like it's all like an inside joke between the two of us. But yeah, that is funny. I forgot about that article.
Yeah, bro, that stuff was so funny.
Well, like we got a minute left, guys. So I want to thank you two for jumping on. Donovan, good luck this week.
Yeah, good luck, bro.
To see what happens with your race. I know you've been battling back the last couple of years, so I'm excited to see you kind of go out there and turn some heads. And Kenny, everybody go download Stoke on the App Store. Tremendous work that he put into that. And then if you want to go on social media and congratulate Kenny on a tremendous career, I'm sure he would love that. He retired recently, like we said before, a few months ago. But thank you also for joining and tell us about that, what went into that. And before we jump off here, give us your social media handles. Where can we find you?
Yeah, it's Kenny underscore Selmon, Selmon on everything. So
Yeah, mine's Donavan Brazier, Donavan. Bobby doesn't know how to spell it, but I'll spell it out for you guys. Donavan Brazier. Donavan Brazier. But thank you, Bobby, for having us. Really appreciate it, man.
yeah, thank you, Bobby. You're the man, bro.
Yeah, love you both. Congrats on everything. Your career, Kenny. Congrats, Donovan, on everything, and then good luck this week. But thank you guys. I really appreciate it. It was fun talking to both of you.
Yes.
Sweet. See you guys.
See ya.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us on this edition of World's Greatest. Like I said earlier, we are on our 49th show. So thank you guys for coming out and chat and listening to the stories from those guys and getting some background on them. Follow Donovan this week as he transitions into the U.S. Championships. Go follow Kenny as he joins or it becomes a tremendous Barry's fitness instructor and watch his journey as well into his next step of life. But yeah, thank you guys. I hope everybody has a great night and thanks for joining in.